Good day, student. As you can see, what we have today is multiplication of numbers. We have three methods we use to learn how to multiply numbers. So, the first is algebraic method. By algebraic method, the first method we are to use is algebraic method. So, for example, if you are given a number 23 times 64 to multiply, the best method is algebraic. In this case, algebraic method is in this form. You are given a plus b and then c plus d. This is the same as a multiplying c will give us ac plus what? A multiplying d will give us ad plus bc plus what? Bd. So this is the best method. In that case, you are multiplying tens and the unit instead of in this multiplying the number as a whole. In that case, we have to split each of the numbers into tens and the unit. So this is the same as 20 plus 3 multiplying 60 plus what? 4. All we need to do is we multiply and then use vertical method to add our result. So multiplying 20 by 60 will give us what? There are two zeros, so we write two zeros. 2 times 6 will give us 20. 2 times 6 will give us what? 12. So that is the first thing. So the second is 20 times 4. Using the first one, you multiply everything here. Remember there's plus. Then using the second, you multiply everything. So 20 times 60 will give us 1200. 20 times 4 will give us 80. 3 times 6, 3 times 60 will give us what? 180. 3 times 4 will give us 12. So once you have done your multiplication in this type, as you have seen it, you add up. You add the number starting from back. 0, 0, 0 plus 2 is 2. 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17. You carry 1. 2 plus 1 will give us 3. Plus the 1 you carry will give us 4. Then you bring this one down. That is the way. Very easy. So the multiplication of 23 times 64 will give us 1472. So let's look at another example using this method. So the second example is, if you are given 167, you are multiplying it with 47. So second example, you are given 167 multiplying to 48. In this case, we have 100 and also we have tenth. Split this into 100 and the tenth, or split it into 100 and the unit. So this is the same as 160 plus what? 7. Whichever one that will be easy for you, split this one into 40 and the 8 and then multiply out. So there's two zeros, so you can start from two zeros. 4 times 6 will give us 24. I write 4 and carry 2. 4 times 1 will give us 4 plus 2 will give us 6. 160 times 8, we already have 1 0. I write 1 0. So 8 times 16 is the same as 8 times 6 will give us 48. I write 8 carry 4. 8 times 1 will give us 8 plus 4 will give us 12. I hope you are following. Then you are done with the first one. Then the next is 7. 7 times 40 will give us what? 7 times 4 will give us 28. Then the next is multiplying the unit by unit. So 7 times 8. 7 times 8 will give us what? Will give us 56. Then you add the result. This will give us 6. 8 plus 8 will give us 16. Plus 5 will give us 21. Write 1, carry 2. This is 8 plus 2, 10. write 0, carry 1. 6 plus 1, 7 plus 1 you carry will give us 8. So the multiplication of 167 by 48 will give us 8016 using the algebraic method of factor. This is a factor method of algebraic. So to do the multiplication, so let's look at another example. Have any question? Let's look at another example. In this case, example 3, we are given 478 multiplying by 523. So how do you multiply it? They are now in 3 digits. Split it into, this is the same as if you split it, you can split it into 110 with the unit. So in this case you have 400 plus 78, and again you have 520 plus 3. So in this case 400 multiplying 52 520, we have how many 0? 1 2 3. So we have 1 2 3. It's the same as 4 multiplying 52. 4 times 2 will give us 8. 4 times 5 will give us 20. That is done. 400 times 3, there are 2 zeros, so you can add the zeros. Multiply 4 by 3. 4 times 3 will give us 12. Next is 78 times 520. This is where you will do work. If you want, you can leave a row here and perform the last one. 78 times 3. 3 times 7. 3 times 8 will give us 24. So I write 4. Carry what? 2. Carry 2. 3 times 7 will give us what? 21 plus 2 give us 23. Remember, I leave one row here. So let's do that row. That is 78 times 520. This is a subset. We can still using this method again to do it here. Split it into 2. This is the same as 70 plus 8 multiplying 500 plus 20. So we can still perform minor multiplication within the major multiplication. 70 times 500 will give us how many 0? 1 2 0. 7 times 5 will give us 35. 70 times 20, there are 2 zeros. 7 times 2 will give us 14. So the next is 8. 8 times 500, write the 2 0. 8 times 5 will give us 40. 8 times 20 will give us what? 160. You see it? So we are performing between zeros and the other numbers. In that case, it will be easy. So we add up. This will give us 0. This will give us 6. This will give us 5. This is 0, carry 1. This is 4. So this is what you put here. 0, 6, 5. This is when you are in the exam, you can do the ones you know immediately and return to fill the row. So then you add up your result. This will give us 4. This will give us 9. 4 plus 5 will give us 9. This give us 9. 4 and 2. So you see that the multiplication of the number 478 by 523 is the same as 249994. That is it. So we are still in an algebraic method. Have any question? So can we continue? So from here, let's do another example. Let's do the second example. Alright, the fourth example is you are multiplying 638 by 243. So this example 4, you have 638 multiplying 243. So the next thing you should do is to split the result into 100 and the tenth. So from here you have 630 plus 8 multiplying here 200, whichever way you try to split it, so it will be easy for you. You look at the question and then know how to split it. I split it between 630 and 8 and 243, because in this splitting you will still perform one major multiplication. Every other ones may be easy. So once we have done that, we begin to multiply 630 times 200, 1 2 3. So you write 1 2 3. So 2 times 3 will give us 6. 2 times 6 will give us 12. You are done with the first one. 630 times 432. So this is where you perform a major operation. These two. You may leave the second row, do the third row. 8 times 200, 1 2. This gives us 16. 8 times 43. 8 times 3 will give us 24. I write 4 carry 2. 8 times 4 will give us 32. 32 plus 2 will give us 34. So we have done that. The next is to return to this major operation, that is 630 times 43. Here again you can still perform the multiplication using the same method we are using on this subset. So here this is the same as 600 plus 30 multiplying 40 plus 3, so that we can view the second rule. So this is the same as 600 times 40, 1 2 3 30, 1 2 3. 6 times 4 will give us 24. 600 times 3, 0 0. 6 times 3 will give us 18. 30 times 40, we have 2 zeros. 3 times 4 will give us 12. 30 times 3 will give us 90. See how easy it is. So sum your work. We have here 0 9 0 carry 1 6 7 2. So we have 270 90. That is what you will feel here. Have 0 9 0 7 0 7 2. So that is it. You can now sum your result. So cleaning here, let's sum it up. Let's do what? Sum the result. This gives us 4. 9 plus 3 13. Put 1 here, give us 10. Carry 1. So you put 1 here, 7 7 14 plus 1 15. You write 5. Carry 1. 4 plus 1 5. You now drop the 1. That is it. So the multiplication of 638 by 243 is equals to 155,034. So that is how you can use algebraic method or factor method of algebraic expression to perform the multiplicative or multiplication operation on two numbers or more than two numbers. So in this case we have seen how we use it to solve problems involving 2 or 3 digit number. So the second method is, let's go to second method. Let's go to second method. In the second method is the ordinary method you use in this secondary school. Second method, ordinary method, you know. Ordinary method, you use in the secondary school. So this method is still useful even in examination time. Ordinary method, you know. So for example, we are given 47 times 38. If you haven't learned this method, in this way, the first thing you have to do is to write the work in column or vertical form. So 47, 38. You do the multiplication, you draw a line. Starting from the back here. This is the multiplicator or multiplier. It is multiplying this number. So 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is equals to 56. If you don't know this method, you write 6 and carry 5. Carry 5 to the next digit. 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus the 5 you carry. That gives us 37. Is it not? That gives us 37. Then you write 7 and then carry 3. Since there is no other number to add this 3, you write it down. You are done with the first one. So the second is the 10th. 3 times 7. That will give us 21. Here you move one digit, not immediately after 6. You move one digit. When you are performing this type of operation, before you do the addition, you have to move one digit for each of the row. You move one digit and write 1, then carry 2. Carry 2 to the next digit. 3 times 4, and that gives us 12. Plus the 2 you carry, and that gives us 14. So you write 4, 1. Then sum your work. Sum it. Starting from the back. 6. 7 plus 1 is 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. You write 1. So the multiplication of 47 by 38 is equals to 1786. There's something you have to know here when you are using a multiplier. The number, if you are using a multiplier, that is here, 38 is the multiplier here. So the number of rows you have here will be equal to the number of digits of the multiplier. 1, 2. So we have 2 rows, first row, second row. So that is it. The number of rows will depend on the number of multiplier you have. Let's look at the second example. The second example here is you are given 418. The order of selection is not important. You can use any one as a multiplier. So in this case, I have 38 and I have 418. So I'm multiplying. I will start from the back. 8 times 8. 8 times 8 will give us 64. I write 4 and carry 6. 8 times 3. 8 times 3 will give us 24. Plus 6 I carry. That gives me what? Give me 30. So I write 30. The next thing is by 1. 1 times 8 will give us what? 8. I come here not immediately after 4, the second digit, and write 8. 1 times 3 will give us 3, so I write 3. 4 times 8 will give us what? 32. 4 times 8 is equals to 32. So I write 2, I come here, I adjust from here, I write 2 and carry 3 to the next digit. 4 times 3 will give us 12 plus the 3 I carry, and that gives us 15. It gives us what? 15. So I come here, I write 15 and then sum up. 4, 0 plus 8 is 8, 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2 8, write 1, write 5, carry, write 1. So the result of the multiplication of 418 by 38 is the same as 15884. So notice that the number of rows is equals to the number of digits of the multiplier. 1 2 3 1 2 3. So the number of rows you shift one digit to the left is equals to the number of the digit of the multiplier. So that is it. Then let's also look at another example. Let's look at example 3. So example 3 is 72 multiplying 45. 72 multiplying 45. So this is number 3. 72 multiplying 45. Using ordinary method, put it in the particle form and start your multiplication from the back. 5 times 2 is 10. I write 0, carry 1. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1, 36. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 7 is 28. Then I add up. This will give me 0, 14, carry 1. This will give us 11 plus 1, 12. I carry 1. Then 1 plus 2 is give us 3. 0, 6 plus 8 is 14. I write 4, carry 1. Put the 1 here, is give me 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. I write 2, carry 1. 2 plus 1, 3. So the multiplication of 72 by 45 is 3240. The number of rows is equal to the number of digits of the multiplier. Now let's look at example 4. Any question? So in this case, you are given question 4. You are given 723 times 653. So I write in column form. I will start my multiplication from the back. 3 times 3 is 9. I write 9. 3 times 2 will give us 6. 3 times 7 will give us 21. So 5 times 3 will give us 15. I write 5 and carry 1. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 will give us 11. I write 1 and carry 1. 5 times 7 will give us 35 plus the 1 will give us 36. Then the next is 6. I have done 3 and I also have done 5. So the next is what? 6. 6 times 3 is 18. I write 8 and carry 1. 6 times 2 will give us 12 plus 1, 13. I write 3 and carry 1. 6 times 7 will give us 42 plus 1, 43. Then you add, starting from the back, 9. 5 plus 6 will give us 11, carry 1. 10 plus 1, 11, carry 1. Put the 1 here, 4. 10, 12, carry 1. 67. So the result of multiplying 723 by 653 is equals to 472,119. So this is how you can use ordinary method you know in the secondary school, or you have been using. If you haven't learned it, you have learned it newly, to solve problem involving multiplication of numbers. Now let's look at another method. Let's look at what? The third method. The third method here is, I call it one-to-many mapping multiplication method. One-to-many mapping multiplicative method. I was the one that called it. So third method, one-to-many mapping multiplication method. Multiplication method. This method is useful if you are still learning how to multiply numbers, because you end up multiplying zeros and the unit numbers, so it will be easy. For example, 47 times 68. The trick here is split these two into 2. That gives us 40 and the 7. You come here, split it into 2. This gives us 60 and the 8. Is 7 and 8. So here we also, because what you give to this 40, you also give to 7. So you have also 60 and the what? 8. So that 40 map to 60 map to 8. 7 map to 60 map to 8. This is very easy. So 40 times 60 will give us 2,400. 40 times 8 will give us what? 320. 7 times 60 will give us what? 42. 420. 7 times 8 will give us what? 56. To add, and that gives us 6. 9. This gives us what? 8 plus 3 will give us 11. Carry 1, and that is it. So the result of 47 multiplying 68 is the same as 3,196. So this is called, I call it one-to-many mapping multiplication method. One mapping to many. As many as there is number here, maybe you have another one here, it will map to 3. The reason is to split it into its members group. This is a member of tenth, this is a member of what? Unit. So you also split this into its member, possible into tenth and the unit. So the number of rows you will get before you add is equals to the number of the digits, the product of the number of the digits 1 2 1 2. So the number of rows will be 2 by 2, and that gives us 4. So you have 1 2 3 4. That is it. So let's look at another example for clarification. This is multiplying numbers with different method. You can choose any method that is easy for you, and whenever you see numbers, it will be easy for you to do the operation. So the second method, the second question here is, you are given 314 multiplying 76. So in this case, you have to split this number into 300, and you have 10, and then we have 4. Split it into each group. In this group, split this into 2, 70 and 6. 70 and 6. You give each of this number split here its own portion. So here is 4. I have to give it 70 and what? 6. In this case, it will be easy. Remember, I told you the number of rows you will have is equal to the number of digits of the two numbers. 1, 2, 3. This is 3. The product, this is 2. So the number of rows we will get will be 6 using this method. So 300 will map these 2, 10 will map with these 2, 4 will map with these 2. In this case, you already multiplying zeros and the unit, which will be easy for you for a beginner. 300 times 70, 1, 2, 3, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. 7 times 3 will give us 21. 300 times 6, 2 zeros, starting from the back. 3 times 8 will give us 18. 10 times 70, 2 zeros. 1 times 7 is 7. 10 times 6, 1 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 4 times 7, yes, 1 0. 4 times 7 will give us 8. 4 times 6 will give us 24. You add, starting from back, this gives us 4. This gives us 10, 16, carry 1. Put it here, give us 10, 18, carry 1, 3, 2. So 314 multiplying 76 is equals to 23864. That is 23,864. So which method is best for you? Or basic method of mapping? Algebraic method or ordinary method? Before using this method, you have to separate each members of the equation or the number into each group. This will be in the, because it's 100, will be in 100. The second one will be in tenth. The third will be in unit. We do the same with the number is mapping. You split it. Each of the what number is split will have its own inheritance of the number to be multiplied with. Okay, let's look at example 3. Let's look at example 3. So the next example, you are given 986 multiplying 78. So split these numbers according to each group. You have 900. It will have 2, 70 and 8. Then the next is 80, because 80 is in the 10th. 80, it will have its own inheritance, 70 and the 8. And lastly 6, it will also have its own inheritance, 70 and the 8. Once you have done that, you have already solved it. The multiplication will be easy. Then 900 is mapping to 2, 80 is mapping to these 2, 6 is mapping to these 2. The total number of rows we will get will be equals to 3 times 2, which is 6. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 900 times 70, how many zeros? We have 3 zeros. 7 times 9 will give us 63. You see, you only times in the numbers and just adding zeros, which is very easy. This is 2 zeros, so I add 2 zeros in the back. 9 times 8 will give us 72. How many 0? 2. I add it from the back. 7 times 8 will give us 56. 8 times 8, 80 times 8, I have 1 0. So 8 times 8 will give us 64. I have 1 0 here. 6 times 7 is 42. Very easy. 6 times 8 will give us 48. Then you add, starting from the back, you have 8, You have 10 carry 1. This is 10. This is 18 plus 1, 19 carry 1. So 10 plus 5, 15 plus 1, 16 carry 1. So this gives us what? 76,908. So we have 76,908. Very easy. So you see this method, we now know which method is best for you. So this is how you can solve it. That gives us what? Using to one-to-many mapping multiplication method, we are easy to separate our given numbers into each component group and then map it to the multiplier, each of the members of the multiplier, and then add up our results. Let's look at the example, another example here, example 4. So let's look at example 4. Example 4. You are given 876 multiplying 642. This one will be a bit, you see it. So a total row will be 3 times 3. We have 9 rows. So start printing according to each group. Here we have 800. There are 3 here, 600, 40, and 2. So this will map to this 3. The next is 70. Is it not 70? We have 600, 40, and the 2. 70 will map to this 3. And then finally you have 6. 6 will map to 600, 40, and the 2. They all have their own inheritance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In that case, we begin 800 times 600, only multiplying zeros and multiplying the unit. 8 times 6 will give us 48. 800 times 40. How many zeros? 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 times 8 will give us 32. 800 times 2. How many zeros? 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 70 times 600. 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 7 times 6 will give us 42. 70 times 400, we have 2 zeros. 7 times 4 will give us 28. 70 times 2, we have only 1 zero. That gives us 14. So 6 times 600, we have 2 zeros. 6 times 6 will give us 36. 6 times 40, we have 1 zero. 6 times 4, 24. 6 times 2 will give us 12. Once you have done it, you add. The last is 2. This 4 plus 4, 8 plus 1, 9. Here you have 6 plus 8 will give us 14. 14 plus 1, 15. 15 plus 6, 21. 21 plus 2, 23. You carry 2. 1, 2, 3. Plus that 2, giving us 8. Plus 4, 12. You write 2, carry 1. Here we have 12 plus 4 will give us 16. Carry 1. Add it to 4. That gives us 5. So in this case, you have the multiplication of 876 times 642 is the same as 5623 92. And that is the result. So you see how easy it is. Addition is very easy. You only see things you already know. Zeros, 4, 8, just adding them and carrying the remaining to the next digit and add it to the next digit. Have any question? So can we do one more example? So let's do one more example under this method. Whichever method is good for you, please use it to solve the question. In exam, any of the method will be okay. You can use any of the method. If it's a time exam, you can use the algebraic factor method, ordinary method. This is also good. So question 5 is 43 by 524. Whichever one you are using, the total row is 2 times 3, and that will give us 6 rows. If we are using this mapping method, splitting this into 40, it will map into 500, map into 20, map into 4. 3 will map into 500, map into 20, map into 4. So once you have separated, the next is to perform the operation of multiplication. 40 times 500, there are 3 zeros. Make it easy, write them. 5 times 4 will give us 20. 40 times 20, we have 2 zeros here. 4 times 2 will give us 8. 40 times 4, there are 1 0. 4 times 4 will give us 16. There's 2 zeros here, I can write it down. 3 times 5 will give us 15. There's only 1 0. 3 times 2 will give us 6. 3 times 4 will give us 12. So I sum, this gives us 2. 12 plus 1, 3, 13, you carry 1. Put it here, 10 plus 5, 15, I write 5, carry 1. 1 plus 1, 2, I write this 2 down. So multiplying it, you have 2, 2, 5, 3, 2. And that is the answer. So that is it. You can always pause the video, go through what we did. If you have any question, just ask for explanation. If you enjoy this video, do this one for me. Do them and bring them here for marking, or you can visit our website and drop it at the question box. We will mark it and send the answer to you and the solution to you. Do this once. You have 77 multiplying 58. The second one, you have 126 multiplying 56. The third is 1024 multiplying 56. And then 126 multiplying 140, 146 or 145, whichever one. Then the fourth one, the fourth question here is 42 multiplying 108, 186. The fifth one is 189 times 93. And finally, there are 6 questions. 128 multiplying 392. So please quickly do this once and then send them to me for explanation. If you are not quite sure what you do, you can send it for me for explanation. You can go visit our website and drop it at the question box. Send it, we will see it and do every other things for you and send it to you. And then as well, before you go, please subscribe to my channel to encourage me for more videos for your reviews. Like and share, click the notification button. Whenever I have no update, you'll be the first person to receive it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.